Welcome back to Strangeland. It's been a couple of days, and so I'm gonna have to figure out what the heck I was doing. I think it had something to do with fighting a giant crab monster. So, I'll head back inside the Maw of Carnival Doom, and then go over here. Jumped through a bunch of hoops to open up this roller coaster ride that leads me to a giant crab that eats me. And the first time I attempted to fight the giant crab, I couldn't figure out the right stuff to do in time, and it devoured me. But oh wait, what? I did not even... Oh, those were my favorite characters, and now they're dead. Stealthy Assassin says the short clips in this game are disturbing. I agree. Are you specifically talking about when they, like, cut away to, like, some horrible, like, cross-section of the girlfriend's brain? Because, yes, I agree. Okay, so, the thing that worked last time was aciding the claw. Acid the claw. And then Cog suggested that maybe what I need to do is torch the face?
It's out of reach.
Oh, did I torch the crab? Torching the crab. Right, I had one extra soul? I don't know if that did something. And then can I dagger them all? There we go. Yes. Oh no! Oh no, my inventories though. Not my inventories! Ah! Well, now I'm dead. But death in this game is not the end. Death is just sometimes an important, vital step in progressing the game. Oh, what? Wait, what?
What the hell is going on?
Oh.
Don't tell me you're expecting a joke. Fine. Don't worry, it's all in your... Sometimes you fall behind, sometimes you get a... Wow, you're really in over your... You know, the thing is, it's never clear till the end whether something's a comedy or a tragedy. If the Reverend Doctor only brings the good word, Juliet wakes up in Romeo's arms. And if he doesn't, never was a story of more woe.
So, Dualnames, I can't tell if you're serious about having been involved with this game or if you're just being a strange person. Certainly whoever made this game was a strange person or group of strange people. Well, if you were actually involved in making this game, then I am very entertained by this. This is my third session playing it, and yeah, apparently, okay, so here's the thing. I went through a long period of time coming back to this carnival entrance, which those of you who are, if this is your first session watching me, you saw the original head, the big weird skull here when I first showed up. That head keeps making jokes. And I think that each time, the punchline had something to do with a head, and half the time I just didn't even understand what was funny, because I didn't realize it was talking about being a giant head. But now that it's my head, I suddenly am retroactively getting all those jokes, and they understood that that's what I was going to do, so they repeated the setups of all of those jokes. So, I mean, yeah, I love it when I feel like there's an uncanny sense that the writer of something has anticipated the experience I was going to have. Oh, cool, yeah, so Dualnames, who's joined us in the chat, says that they're 1/3 of Wormwood Studios. And yes, and they are, it says that they are dad jokes. I agree. Thank you so much for showing up. I've been having a great time with this game. One thing that I've really liked about it so far, by the way, is the fact that, like, almost the entire world of this game I saw within the first, like, 10 minutes that I was playing it. like at least so far. I mean, I think I've as I understand it, I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through. And whereas most adventure games just sort of like burn environments as you go, and they're like, okay, you've done everything here, move on. You've done everything here, move on. This game keeps sending you back through, talking to the same characters, interacting with the same things, and your sort of relationship with them progresses over time, and you come to understand them better and better, which is helpful because they're pretty incomprehensible when you first see them. So this game is really well done. It's like it you know, kind of it's building on the sort of the, what am I trying to say? It's building like sort of the expectations that you have of adventure games. It's like, it's, you know, if you know what an adventure game is and how it works, this game is doing exactly what you hope it will do. But then it shows like the creators have got like a really enough of a mastery of the genre that they know exactly where they can make it better by paring things down or leaning in one direction or another. So yeah, I really like it. So Dualnames says, Mark, the writer, wrote like 20 more jokes that didn't make it, but Dualnames had to read them all. Yeah, so so it's funny. My first interaction with the game industry was actually as a child. My dad was hired to, my dad wasn't a child. I was a child. When I was a child, my dad was hired to write for Monkey Island. He wrote the fencing dialogue, the fencing jokes for Monkey Island, and he, you know, on a lark, involved me in that and like let me write some jokes and stuff like that. And I think that there's like a shred of a joke here and there that I wrote as an 11-year-old that did actually make it into the game, though obviously my dad was heavily editing and curating and writing most of them. I'm not going to take credit for that system being so fun. But I recently found, like in my parents' attic, I found a document that had a lot of the jokes I wrote that didn't make it into Monkey Island, and they were the worst. Oh my gosh, they were terrible. I mean, I was 11 years old trying to write jokes. Of course they were all terrible, but I had forgotten how bad they all were. So yeah, I understand Mark's plight and your plight, needing to read all the jokes that didn't make it. Yeah, Dualnames, I'm usually a little bit cagey about that information, but I'm sure you could look it up.
Hey, over here.
Wait, what? Is my head just everywhere now?
Nothing but darkness down there.
Oh, I accidentally clicked on a hole. That's not what I meant to do.
Thank God. I don't know how this happened. It feels like I've been in here a long time, but I can't remember how I got here. Was it you who put me here? No, I can't believe that.
So going back to that idea that, you know, that this game, it's constantly sending you back to the same places and the same people, reinterpreting them again and again. Like, when I reached the point where I was fighting the crab monster, that felt like a boss battle, right? It felt like I was... what am I trying to say? Yeah, it just felt like I was at the end. That felt like the end of a game, right? Because like all of my inventory items that I had been saving up to that point were all useful, and I was, you know, and it was this big monster that was about to eat me, and I was headed towards my final destination where the woman that I've been chasing was up in that cage. Like, I really felt like I was getting to a culmination point, and then it works, I defeat it, and then it like dissolves me and I come back here, and now we're going over the same locations again for what feels like kind of like the third time, basically, making another pass through all these same places, but this time they're all different in ways that feel meaningful to me because I've, you know, already played through.
Listen, we need to reconnect. This situation, this separation, it isn't good for either of us. Mens sana and corpore sano and all that. Don't look at me. I'm stuck in a box. You need to walk around, see where we are, figure out how to get back to where we should be.
Oh wait, yeah, there is one. Okay, for a second I thought the phone was gone, but it was just a little bit off the edge of the screen.
You've got to get me out of here. We need to get back to her. We were so close. And then the dark thing did whatever it did. And ever since, I've just been stuck.
I wonder how long this head has been here while I was regenerating.
Are you all right? Just take care of yourself. Ourself. Myself.
So I feel a little bit like when I'm choosing these dialogue options, am I choosing the dialogue option that my headless self is expressing? Or am I choosing the dialogue options that the head in the box is saying?
Seriously, just smash the glass and help. It's time for you to get to work.
Its head is too small to be of any use to me.
Okay, so, well, sometimes, there were a couple of times I was playing this game where I was like, oh, they didn't do a great job of reading my intent. I felt like I clearly meant to do X and they read it as Y, but sometimes them choosing to read my intent as something that I did not mean can be a great source of humor. Like check that. Like I'm like clicking on this because this raven has been a helpful source of information and hints in the past. That's why I'm clicking on it. And the game chooses to assume that what I wanted to do was take its head and stick it on my body, which just is, that's an image.
How can I possibly use it without a head?
Well, fair.
Wait! Don't leave me here!
Well, what am I supposed to do? I don't have anything in my inventory. Oh, there are still exits. Okay. I thought maybe the exits were gone too.
It's too far off.
Weird how this stuff still has roughly the same shape, but instead of looking like crumbling rocks and architecture, it looks biological now? But it still has a... Because I've gone back... It's so fun thinking about how this stuff is operating, because it's because I had to come back to each of those locations multiple times to solve multiple puzzles that they're so familiar to me now that I can clearly remember which original thing each of these locations represents.
Human skulls in another kind of shooting gallery, except without any gun.
That's true. Maybe that's why they made me click on the gun before. Okay, so Dualnames. So you said you work at Wormwood Studios. So what
Is someone there?
is that? A
Or is
distinct?
it just the wind?
Stop talking, knee scribe. Is that? What's the relationship between Wormwood Studios and Wad Jedi? Which, by the way, am I even saying that right? That's a very hard word to pronounce. I'm just very curious about who these groups are and like how they relate to each other. If there's something you could tell us.
Plan.
Meanwhile, I'll figure out what the heck is going on here. Oh, hi! Okay. Well, clicking on that snake gets me killed. That's good to know. Not going to skip the rocks this time.
They were helpful last time.
Always got to grab the rocks.
Again? If you're expecting me to hop on your shoulders, you'll be waiting a long time.
Oh, okay. So Dualnames, I had that backwards. So in my head, I thought that Wad Jedi was the people making the games, and that Wormwood Studios was the publisher. And I don't know why I got that turned around, because Dualnames says, actually, Wormwood Studios, that's the people making these games. Wad Jedi is the publisher. Okay. So, well, now I know, and I'm sorry if I've gotten that wrong, because I think I've played multiple Wormwood Studios games on my channel over time, and I keep crediting the publisher with all of the creativity, and that's just not fair. What does this poster say?
It's an ad for Balm of Gilead. There's a photo of a mysteriously beautiful woman with the caption, "Is there?" Find out today at the shooting gallery.
Oh, wait, what?
I warned you about the rides, didn't I? You should have paid attention to the signs earlier. Now it's too late.
There's a little bit of a Bioshockiness in that. It's like, haha, you shouldn't have done this. I'm like, I played the game that was put in front of me. But that's fine. Dualname says that they're the true heroes of this project, so I can credit them. Well, that makes sense. So I just want to see if there's anything new at the shooting gallery since I read the sign. Probably not. It said Balm of Gilead. I certainly don't see anything new to interact with, and I'm betting clicking on this does the same thing as before.
I can't reach the skulls, and there's no gun to shoot them with.
Oh, Dual Names, I'll pass along that sentiment. Thank you. Yeah, I've done that too. Whoa, wait. That's new.
Hello? It seems to be ignoring me.
Okay, so this thing is... It's dripping on my other self, but apparently having a head makes you immune to the poison? I don't know.
I have no mouth, and I must talk.
2.
Okay, yeah, so when I was choosing dialogue options... I love that subversion of your expectations. When I was choosing dialogue options before with the head in the box, I was the head of the box. So I walk up to the head of the box, interact with it, and then I'm the head talking to myself and choosing the topics. Because when I try to talk to other versions of me that are not interested in talking, I don't get any dialogue options.
I can't use this as a work order, or anything else.
This game is so weird.
It's part of the structure, or whatever this is.
Me.
Okay. Tree?
I don't even want to touch it, let alone climb it.
Okay. So far we're only seeing weirdness here. We have not used the bird bath for anything yet. So it makes me think that at some point... Oh, wait. I just realized I've got rocks now.
How thoughtless.
That's it. Let me go back and throw a rock at the other raven just in case that does something. Dual Names, yes. I am a game designer. I'm
2.
I'm currently the design director on State of Decay 2. I actually spent most of my career making weird licensed games for children based on kids' movies. But these days I work on State of Decay 2.
Good for the whatever that is.
My tooth.
Tooth?
Is this going to be the same mechanic? All right. This is reminiscent of Monkey Island in that, they teach you one mechanic and have it work one way, but then later on in the game you have to use the same mechanic in a different way.
My ass.
You can't fool me into writing vulgarity.
Oh, so nothing? Nothing? Okay.
My finger.
Finger, eh? It's illegible.
What? Am I going to have to get myself an eye so that I can write finger correctly? How does that work when you localize it? Do you have to find a word for wing and a word for finger or something on the hand that has the same features the same letter that can be wibbly and wrong? Because that sounds like actually kind of a fun challenge for a localization team. Dual Name says they're about to find out. Yeah, it looks like they probably haven't localized the game yet. One of my favorite parts of my job is the fact that when people are localizing State of Decay 2, the questions about how to localize it come back to me, and so I get to explain in detail the sort of the intent behind lines and what certain turns of phrases are meant to mean in different contexts, and it makes me really think about the way that language works, and it can be a lot of fun. Okay, so instead of an anvil, we got a nodule.
I couldn't even use the regular anvil myself. Pretty sure 8-3 is dead. Also, pretty sure I can't talk.
All right.
It's not operational.
What? Oh man, I'm so like, so I very frequently will do a couple of sessions in a game on my stream, and not take it very far, you know, and like not go all the way to the end or not even get past the beginning, just because part of the reason I do this stream is so that I can see a wide variety of different games. I'm so glad I came back to this one. This is the best part.
Hard to use it without a head.
So just reinterpreting everything, both as this like weird Giger-esque bio disgusting nonsense, but also as like, how does one interact with this without a head? Oh, that's true.
That's not a real head. It's like a cross between a croquet mallet, a shillelagh, and a nightmare. I can't even shout into the void.
Okay. Tell Mark that all of these new reactions when I don't have a head are great. Okay, so. Did I already say that I can't use a phone because I don't have a head? I'm pretty sure I said that. I wonder, can I club this with my shillelagh?
Hey, careful.
Much better.
Okay, all right. Now, can I talk to you?
What are you?
A man dreaming he's a bird? Or am I a bird dreaming he's a man? Either way, I'm just a fragment of your imagination.
This actor had to have so much fun because throughout this game, he's been playing different twists on himself. You know, I'm pretty sure that most of the characters that seem like other characters really are other, yeah, especially like the female characters, clearly are other actors. But the deeper you get into the game, the more characters are clearly played by the same actor who plays the main character.
Don't you mean a figment of my imagination?
Partly.
Stealthy Assassin says, today I learned what a shillelagh is. Yeah, shillelagh is an Irish word for like a club to beat people with. So, Dualnames says that the actor's name is Abe Goldfarb. Well, he's a lot of fun.
What happened to this place?
Life has killed the dream you dreamed. But don't worry, everything else here is dead too. That's why they call it Deadland.
I was flying to a woman and then a crab grabbed me. And somehow, when it was all over, I wound up here. How can I get back to her?
I heard a joke once. I think the punchline is, carry on.
I remember that joke.
Deadland? Am I?
A headless man walks in a world of ghosts and he wonders, am I a dead man dreaming he's alive? Or a live man dreaming he's dead?
Probably that would have read better if I'd heard the Raven joke second, but whatever.
Goodbye.
I'm in charge of this.
Fair far, if that's your fate.
Wait a minute, hold on. One place where actually my sort of familiarity with the adventure genre screwed me up was I didn't realize that you could repeat the same topic to a character in this game again and again and get a progression of the same conversation.
Can't you help me get back to her?
I can't even help you get back to you.
Goodbye.
Okay, so there wasn't that much there, but now is this the way I want to go? What? Oh, right, the phone.
Did you miss me? Sadly, we're stuck together, like a canker in a rose. Et in purgatorio ego. Trust me, my lot's much worse than yours. To be stuck at your stumbling pace, sharing in your shame, unable to abide or abort, to forgive or forget. Familiarity, my fool. doth breed contempt.
I have to remind myself that he's going to say that regardless of how well I play this game, because it feels like he's telling me I'm not playing the game very well. But I got to remember he's going to say that no matter how good a job I do. I beat the shooting gallery at normal speed, and it kept suggesting there was a way to slow it down. And so, but I never found that way because I beat it at normal speed. So I feel like I'm actually pretty special. Though, I don't know. Maybe there is no way to slow it down. You just have to beat it at normal speed. And the game just makes you feel special by suggesting there was an easier way.
You look just like me. Two men can look the same and yet see very differently.
Like, Abe Goldfarb is just doing impressions of the other actors.
No, really. Are you me? A stranger asks a blind man, "Who am I?" But how can he possibly expect an answer? Wait, tell me your name. Yes? I don't know. You see? See what? That you are begging the question. Well, what's your name? The dead know nothing. They have no further reward, and even their name is forgotten. It's not just you. Everywhere I look here, I see us. Ego of egos. All is ego. You really don't know your name? Well, I remember the name Gershom, but whether it's mine, or yours, or both of ours, I can't quite say. What I can tell you is, a good name is better than a fine perfume.
All right.
Listen, I was trying to get to a woman, and this thing, this dark thing, it became a crab. And I think I killed it, but somehow, it sent me here, wherever here is. And I need to get back to her somehow. That much I know. The dead, who have already died, are happier than the living, who are still alive. But who's dead? And who's alive? You ask, but I can't possibly answer. For in the realm of the dead, there is neither knowledge nor wisdom.
It is interesting trying to sort of notice the line between... Like people who watch my stream a lot know that when there's, like, extraneous dialogue, I skip as much of it as I can. You know, or if there's, like, extra lore somewhere, I'd never read it. Because I'm just impatient to get on with, you know, how the game works and just moving forward. And, but there are some games where I'm like... You know, even if I have a vague sense that they're like, oh, I know what I want to ask, I know what I want to do in this situation, I still want to click on every possible dialogue option because that's what you're here for. That's what the game's about. That's what's fun about it.
Even if you can't tell me about death, at least tell me how to get back to her. There is a time to search and a time to give up. What if I'm not ready to give up? Pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them. I don't want your pity. I want a way back to her. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. Even a fool knows that if he wants to go back the way he came, he just needs to retrace his steps.
The Tank said, yesterday I was going to morbidly suggest you try cutting yourself with the dagger to fill the bird bath with your blood or something. I mean, I wouldn't put it past this game to have that exact kind of thing be the answer to something.
Why are you just sitting here, letting that snake thing drip venom on you? When I could see, I saw a tree with a snake and thought it the tree of knowledge. So I sat and hoped to learn. Now I'm blind and have nowhere else to go. Is there anything I can do to help with the snake? Once, I think, there was a woman who caught the snake's venom in a bowl as it fell and spared me some suffering. Now I wonder if she was just a dream, or whether she became the tree, or was the tree all along.
It does feel like there's something here on the tree that's like meant to hold like a bowl or something like that.
Is there anything I can do
Oh.
to help with the
Nope.
If you
Nope. There we go. Okay. Meat.
Do you have any meat? Or bread? No.
Aw.
The fool folds his hands together and eats his own flesh. Are you sure you don't have any meat? I have none. As I said, the fool eats his own flesh.
Okay, I get it. It's a hint. Am I supposed to just feed part of myself to the dog
Have
meat?
you learned anything sitting here? Yes. I learned that in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. What happened to your eyes? Did you feed them to that snake thing? No. I looked the wrong way for wisdom, and the bitter poison I saw left me blind. But in time, I learned that while the wise have eyes in their heads, and the fool walks in darkness, the same fate overtakes them both.
So folks are suggesting things that have already been in my inventory in the past and how I might have used them. But I actually kind of appreciate that at this point when I'm going back over everything, the game just eliminated everything in my inventory. So I don't have any doubt about the fact that I have to kind of start fresh and almost treat this section of the game like it's a new game.
So what is the fate of blind fools and wise men? Chasing after the wind. There used to be a tree here, and an old man. What happened? The wheel is broken at the well, and days have lengthened like a shadow.
No, really, where are we? And what happened to the carnival?
Do not say why were the old days better than these, for it is not wise to ask such questions.
What are those quotes you keep spouting?
The assembled wisdom of worthless toil.
Why can't you just speak for yourself?
Because fools multiply words, while a man worn by wisdom knows there is nothing new under the sun.
Goodbye.
Remember the days of darkness, for there will be many.
Okay, so I finally got to the point where I think all my dialogue options that were left were just reviews of things that had clues in them. So I'm looking for something to catch the poison of the snake. And what was the other thing I was looking for? Meat. There's some way for me to feed
Some.
myself to the dog.
It won't budge. I can't pry it loose.
I'm glad they understood what I was trying to do. Okay.
Damn it.
So someone in the chat did suggest that this bowl might be the bowl we need, but so far it looks like I don't have a way to get it. There's nothing over here, right? Yeah. Okay. So I've spoken to him.
Story.
It seems to be ignoring me.
Okay, I think I've done everything in here I can do so far. Oh, right! I missed the hole the first time, and I missed the web the second time.
The webs are too thick and strong. I can't break through them.
It's the wrong tool for the job.
Okay, well, I do have a plan for a tooth. Not sure exactly how this would work.
Wish you were here, 8-3.
Like,
You can't make anything but dust from a rock. I'm not a blacksmith. Come on. That's not how I use a work order.
right, okay. It seems like whatever I have... So what I'm imagining is that the tooth work order might be to make something sharp that I can then use to cut through that web. This is probably the place that I make the thing, but maybe I'm just missing something. I've not figured out how to use this place to make the thing. Stealthy Assassin's referring to this as a cursed game, and I believe that's the point. Oh, let's definitely throw a rock at myself. Oh, did it eat me? Okay, fine. Alright, well, at least I get my head back this time. It is funny. So, I think my head has always been a little slow to appear. Now that feels more meaningful.
I'm glad we're seeing eye to eye.
So Red Fighter just showed up and pointed out that I started my stream late. Yes, I did. I was traveling all day yesterday. Didn't get home until very late, so I didn't set myself an alarm like I usually do on these mornings. All right, so let's not throw a rock at the dog. I am still inclined to maybe try to hit it with the stick or feed it the stick. I mean, the limb, it's kind of like a bone, and maybe it's meant to be like my limb or something like that, and so that's why... Nope. Nope. I figured there was probably a 75% chance that that's what would happen. It is kind of fun to play an adventure game where...
He's too fast.
Where death isn't the end and you have to start over. But it kind of is, but it's like... There's some places, some ways in which, like, this cycle of death is a part of the game. And, yeah, it feels pretty good. Okay. So I don't think I've got anything else. I mean, I guess I could try to show him the tooth work order. I doubt that's going to do anything, though. So can I shout into the void now?
Hello? Is there anyone out there? Nothing.
All right. So... I feel like I've poked around all of the clear edges near me. Let's see what the phone has to say.
At least the line's not dead.
Three may be dead, but he is not gone. Here, even shadows have shadows.
Okay. Okay, what does that mean? Dualnames says, I think, and if I may, that adventure games forgot that unless you transfer the logic to the player... that unless you transfer to the logic to the player, puzzles cannot work. And they just make weirder and weirder unfair puzzles. Yeah, like... It's kind of reminds me a little bit of when I'm playing Sudoku. So I recently got into watching Cracking the Cryptic, which is this YouTube channel devoted to really like weird variant Sudokus and just sort of a love of sort of exploring like weird, beautiful logic. And one of the things that is there are two hosts, Simon and Mark. And Simon makes fun of Mark all the time because Mark likes to just basically everything. Whenever he makes any kind of deduction, whether it's sort of really important and critical, or whether it's just sort of a minor piece of information, he tends to note it all down, and so he covers his Sudokus with lots of pencil marks. Whereas Simon avoids doing that, likes to keep his pencil marks really sort of lean, and so I've been like trying both of those strategies, and for a long time it was much easier for me to do the sort of the marking up everything mode, where basically if you do just sort of write down on the Sudoku puzzle every single thing that you deduce, eventually you can basically brute force it. You can, by trying every single possible combination, every single possible deduction, eventually the only thing that's left for you to do will emerge from the puzzle. But it's not as satisfying as making those sort of like very clever leaps of logic that don't require you to sort of brute force it. And so while brute forcing it definitely works, and it's what I resort to whenever I can't figure out the clever leap of logic I'm supposed to make, as I've gotten better and better at playing Sudokus recently, I've started leaning into Simon's philosophy, which is much more about like, only marking what you have to, only marking the simplest things, because the enjoyment of making a leap of logic when you haven't brute forced it is much more fun. And I think that's really similar to the challenge of making an adventure game, where it's like if you're playing this kind of like, inventory and world interaction style adventure game, it is always going to be possible for the player to enter every room and combine every single inventory item with every single object in the world. And because you know that a player can do that, it's very easy for an adventure game designer to think, well, I have to make things that are so weird no player would ever think of them. And because they know that no matter what, like if they do a simple, elegant puzzle where things just snap into your head and you easily understand it, there are players who are going to think it's too easy, right? And players who want it to feel really obscure. And because the players can eventually try every item on everything, it's very easy to say, oh, well, I'll make this extremely obscure, and eventually people will get it. They'll figure it out. But unfortunately, if you require player and this is true in Sudoku puzzles too. Like if you require the player to have to brute force it, if brute forcing it is the only way to get through, then you're missing out on like what actually, the actual fun, which is making a leap of logic that you feel clever about, that they didn't seem obvious at first. Like if you understand the puzzle after you've solved it, because you just brute forced it and tried a random thing, and then the puzzle comes together, it's like, oh, that was the right thing. You finally guessed it. That's not satisfying. That doesn't actually feel very good. That feels like, oh, okay, I get it now. I roll. Thanks, developers. But if you're able to, if you're able to actually make a leap of logic in advance, realize what you're doing, and then you go try it and it works, then you feel clever and you feel really satisfied by it. Which I think is like one of the reasons why Wormwood Studios, when they put in the hint system via the phone, where the phone tells you what you should be focusing on and what you should be trying to do, and gives you a hint about what might work. There are probably players who are like, oh, don't give me hints. And and if those players don't want to use the phone, they don't have to use the phone. They don't have to ever hit the operator button. But those kinds of hints, what they're doing for me is they're telling me what I should focus on, narrowing the range of options so that they get me thinking in the right direction. So I actually am trying to solve the puzzle that I'm about to solve, and there's a lot more intentionality and involvement from me in what I'm trying to do, rather than forcing me to just stumble around by myself. And if I get through it at all, it's because I just tried every single thing in every single place, and I didn't even know what I was trying to accomplish. So, yeah. Yeah, so Dualnames is saying a really similar thing to the thing I just said. Let's see here. Yeah, so the tank brought up. Yeah, we have fun finding the solutions in these games, though, especially when it finally clicks. And Dualnames says, yeah, I mean, think about this. We have a hint system that can literally give away the solution, and people refuse to use it to find it, and because they want to find it themselves. But others use it when they get discouraged, and that, to me, is nice. Having the ability to tell players the logic, hinting it more, and then giving it away. So, all right, so let's... Okay, so, the hint that I got... By the way, one thing I have not really tried is going back to the phone again and again and again on this same puzzle. It sounds like Dualnames is suggesting that the hints actually get more and more obvious as you keep trying the phone. So, if I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do... I mean, so, the fact that he sent me back to 8-3 doesn't really mean that coming right here to this place is the thing I need to do.
No need to dishonor the dead.
I just need to be thinking in this direction. It could be that actually the step that I'm missing is somewhere else. And I am still... Actually, this feels like a hammer.
I'm not a blacksmith.
Oh, so I had been putting it on there thinking of it as the material. But maybe... Okay, so I've got a blacksmith's hammer. I've got a work order. I don't have any fire or a material. But it seems like the game is telling me that this is the next important thing I'll be able to do. Okay, let's actually, for the sake of keeping things moving, let's see if there's actually a second tier hint available on the phone. And also just to explore what the hint system is like.
How about you try throwing a stone
At those skulls! Oh, right! There's no gun. Of course. When he said there's no gun, he was actually giving me a hint. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Of course. That makes sense. So it does help when, even if I didn't get the answer and I needed to rely on a hint for it, if I could remember myself thinking a little way down the path and just stopping too short, then, what it does is it sort of... Because I do this too. Like, I play Sudoku with some of Cracking the Cryptic's apps. And I try to go as far as I can without using the hints, but I will sometimes like say, okay, no, I will definitely use a hint for this puzzle because the hints in that in those apps are designed specifically to teach you Sudoku techniques that you otherwise wouldn't know. Things like finding a Y-wing, which is one of the most complicated, I'll explain it some other time. One of the most complicated things you can do scanning a Sudoku puzzle is try to find a Y-wing, which is a certain configuration lets you eliminate a number from a certain square. But I wouldn't have learned how to do that at all if the hint system hadn't driven me there. And similarly, the reason that I'm able to sort of even though I have a lot of pride in trying to play video games and figuring them out myself, the reason why I feel okay about using a hint system like this is because it doesn't just give me the answer to the puzzle. It also teaches me something about how I was thinking before. Like when I came over here and I dismissed this because this puzzle, this area quickly became useless after it was one of the first things I needed to solve in the first phase of the game, and so I started dismissing, got into a habit of dismissing this part of the world as being not important, as being finished. That's silly. Like now that we're, they clearly put a lot of work into making a shiny new version of this area in the second phase. Of course, I'm going to use it for something. But basically, I cut off that line of inquiry in my head, and I stopped considering what could this area be for. And so what this hint has taught me is don't do that. Don't assume that just because a long time ago I exhausted everything in a certain area, or just never cut off a line of inquiry like that. And so now that I understand the mistake that I made that led me to not find this on my own, I feel like I've learned something, and I feel like there was, I've accomplished something by using this hint. It's not just, oh, well, they held my hand and got me through the game. It feels more like, oh, I'm getting better at these games. I'm getting smarter. I'm learning what I do wrong and getting better at adventure games.
Who would have that sweet balm of Gilead?
Gilead TM?
Some visitor, gently rapping, tapping, nothing more.
Ooh. Huh. Okay, yes. So I'm trying to line up these little, what look like wires across their heads and connect it to this side. There we go, okay. And... but doesn't connect here. Still, okay. Even though it shows a connection here, it looks like this is the area it's actually going to come out of. Okay, it looks like this skull is never going to connect on the right side. Interesting. So... oh, of course! The tank had the idea. Yeah. So because this route worked, I assumed it was correct. That was a bad assumption. There are multiple Skull 2s that might work. So, okay. So, like, this Skull 3 might be the one that works, but then I would have to connect a Skull 2 up here. So that means I might have the wrong Skull 1 as well. Like, maybe this is the one that will connect? But first I have to connect here. Oh, no, that doesn't quite connect.
In this head,
there we go.
Horror haunted, where you tremble, shamed and daunted. There is something you have wanted. One thing only, nothing more. Waiting here, within a bottle, the promise of surcease of sorrow, a vacant past, and no tomorrow. Will you take it, we implore?
Yes.
Yes?
Take it, we implore.
So here's a question. So this is the first, actually, this is the first voice I've heard since I was killed by the crab monster that wasn't my own voice. I'm curious, are these the same 3 actors who played the 3 men at the Valkyrie? Or... I'm just wondering if that kind of crossover is still going on.
There's a bottle labeled Balm of Gilead. It's empty.
Oh, blind stranger, thought you in this place of danger to find some friendly face or welcome manger, some escape within a drawer? Fool, there is no balm, no calm, no Aiden. Gilead is gone, and so's your maiden. So keep this pain inside your cranium and bear its burden evermore.
Okay, so yeah, so Dualnames says no. This is Ivy Doppler is apparently the actress playing these characters. Okay, so I've got a container. That makes me think that maybe I've got the answer to the snake situation.
Or
Might just work.
well done.
Haha, but now I'm assuming that now I have a bottle of stuff.
Some
Poison.
He's got enough poison falling on him already.
Okay, so now I've got some poison.
illusion.
Not sure. I mean, I could try it here. I don't think it's likely to work, though.
It's poison, not acid.
Okay, fine. Exactly what I was thinking. Fine. Huh. Oh! Oh, wait.
Is that what you think you are? A poor martyr caught in the coils of circumstance. It should be her beneath the snake, succumbing to the drip, drip, drip of a death you cannot stop. Naive indeed. But you'd rather paint yourself a victim to blunt the pain of failure. The truth is sharper than a serpent's tooth, isn't it?
Wait, why did... He said she should be under the poison, but then he made a reference to the mermaid. Huh. Yeah, Tank, I think you're probably right that maybe it's the dog that needs the poison? Maybe this is just gonna kill me, though.
That's not going to work.
Oh, come on! Oh, no custom
It's
response?
not operational.
Explaining to me why that's not gonna work? Ah, that does seem like a thing people would think of. I mean, this is silliness. This is not going to do anything.
That's not going to work.
No on my ass. Are you going to poison doggies now? Have another look at that dog. Okay, so I've got poison now. But...
There's nothing else in there. Well, bottoms up.
Okay, sure. Let's do this. They animated it. It must be important. Oh. All right. That didn't work.
Deadland.
I assume I might be out of poison now. Yeah, now it's just a bottle again. I gotta get more. Well, going back to this guy to get more food is definitely a familiar experience.
I feel like a waiter.
I'm kind of surprised that, like, you know, when you got a really small team like this, oh, whoa, it's overflowing now. You usually try to be really, really efficient with your animation budget. And so I'm surprised they animated something that was just a throwaway thing. Though, I don't know. Maybe there's a point in the game where I'm supposed to poison myself and it actually makes sense.
Thank you. Could you put the bottle back now?
What did that do?
I feel like a waiter.
Passed.
Did that do something? What did it do?
You.
Is there anything I can do to help with the snake? The cup runneth over, and my head is anointed. Empty it, please, and bring it back. Goodbye.
Okay, so do I need to just do this repeatedly? Just stand here and help this guy?
Thank you. Could you put the bottle back now?
Will.
Am I gonna be like Sisyphus here? Just like
A waiter.
this is my afterlife? Just constantly
Definitely.
trying to absorb this poison? I'm just gonna spend the next hour of this stream just doing this, going back and forth.
Thank you. Could you put the bottle back now? Maybe there's some better use for that poison.
Okay.
Blind.
Thing is, there was a puzzle earlier where I had to
Feel like a
feed
waiter.
6 pieces of meat to a mutant. So it's not unreasonable for me to think that I need to do this multiple times.
Sadly.
Hey, can you make me a tooth?
It doesn't look interested.
All right.
Disappointed.
Shut up. All right. I'm this close to grabbing another hint.
That's not going to work.
That's right. I already tried that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just okay. If I'm to the point where I'm brute forcing, then I need to use the phone.
You want to go up? Try going down instead.
What? In the pit?
Here goes nothing.
Oh, I thought I had tried that before. I mean, maybe this is just death. What's that? What's that? I felt like I had tried the pit before. Maybe it was before I had my head, and so it just didn't let me do it. But yeah, I had started dismissing the pit as a possibility. Come on, get it, get...
What the hell? You?
Who?
Yes, me. Now listen.
Oh, hi!
In the world of entomology, an imago is an insect in its final mature state, typically winged. In the world of psychotherapy, however, an imago is an idealized mental image of another person, wielding great power over the psyche. Power to unify the fragmented body, Lacan writes.
I keep trying to get out of the way of the
In Latin,
subtitles.
of course, the word means image, or echo, or phantom.
What are you talking about?
Seriously.
Whichever it was that you sought in the pit, the last stage of growth, the idealized person of another, or a ghost in the dark, I advise you to look up, not down in your your search. You can fall to your end, but not to a proper ending.
Wait. What does it all mean?
Brother, we cicadas crawl through the dark earth for 6,000 days, just to fly for a few brief weeks of light and love. You ask me what it means. I tell you, do not waste your wings, and do not spurn the mana you are given.
I can't just pick it up with my hands. Maybe there's some better use for that poison.
Okay, so I've got a bottle that I'm actually going to put multiple things in. That's interesting. So I wonder, these holes actually do kind of remind me a little bit of the teratoma that I had to put meat into. Makes me wonder if there's a connection there. Okay, so Stealthy Assassin says, how dialogue like that Imago speech is imagined is beyond me. So I think some of it is probably backwards. Like you first we like in the story, first we meet the cicada, and then it starts making all these connections between insect terminology and psychological terminology. But I'm betting, well, I mean, I wouldn't like bet money on this or something, but I'm betting that it seems likely that maybe it went the other way, that as the writer was developing the story, they were reading up about psychotherapy or something. They caught the use of the word imago that way, remembered that imago also is a word in entomology, and it was like, oh, wouldn't that be interesting if there was some connection between a bug and this psychotherapy concept? And then there's a bug in the game to serve the purpose of that dialogue. Something like that. Like I feel like a lot of these kinds of things tend to come, and this specific example maybe didn't come up with that way. But yeah, the point is that a lot of writing clever stuff like that is just having your mind open all the time to notice weird little things like that, and then remember them and retain them until until you need them. So I don't know. Can I?
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what any of this is for. This world has very little connection to reality. I don't know what might work. I mean, Pharaoh Man just always gets mad when I do anything. So before I try to do anything with him, let's go back to the old guy. Like what happens if I... Okay, so the cicada said to look up. I don't know where in this world I can look up. I wonder if I can pour the regurgitant in here?
I might need it.
Okay, so no.
Because
Pen and paper are enough for me.
Can I mix them together? What would that do? Thing is, I'm coming up with nonsensical things to do at this point.
The bottle's already full.
Okay, yeah, so at least it's, I'm recognizing that I'm doing nonsensical things. I'm still in brute force mode. I mean, this web is insecty, maybe.
That's not going.
Yeah, again, I'm brute forcing. These guys have an opinion about this?
I've had enough of their mockery.
Nope. Hello, Yoda. And Cerebral Amesis, good to see you. It's been a while. Cerebral Amesis wants to know if we're all back working physically at the lab yet, or if we're all still at home. We're all still at home. We're actually doing some work on our physical facilities because we've hired enough people, during the past year. We literally can't fit back in our old office. So we're gonna need to make some changes around there before we can do anything. Oh, wait a minute. I can drink. They've got an animation for drinking. I'm probably supposed to drink this.
Nope. I saw where that came from.
Never mind. Okay, maybe not. That's a great reaction, though. I saw where that came from. Oh, I just realized I've been doing this for about an hour, so... Actually, you know what?
Try talking to 8-3. See who answers.
I've tried that. Wait, did I try that? No, okay, so here's the thing I keep screwing up in this game. I keep observing things, I keep using items and things, I keep not directly interacting with things.
Is anyone there? 8-3?
Atri, that is my name. Why have you called me?
See, this was my mistake with the bird too, the oil-covered bird. I kept trying to be clever and kept trying to do things to it, like with items and things like that. I never just clicked on it for a really long time.
You said your name was Atri, but in another place. I think I knew you as 8-3.
Atri died, so that 8-3 might live. So, there he was, and here I am.
So you two are the same person.
How many lives, how many selves have you scattered across this place and the other one? You should know by now that every man contains a multitude, and life is a process of elimination.
So Atri was eliminated?
In time, a man's name becomes the sum of his shames. It turns poisonous. It shrinks him and sickens him until he thinks the whole world is made of poison. And then he thinks, better to come of age again, to be a number, the sum of primes, highly cototient. Yes, there's safety in numbers. And so poisonous Atri is left behind, and industrious 8-3 soldiers on.
You were one of the ones who did whatever it was you did to Nineveh, aren't you?
And you're one of the ones who blames the doctor for the sickness he couldn't stop. So here in your head, you've painted me a poisoner, and a freak, and a dwarf, and a number. So, which of us makes monsters?
What the hell do you mean, I make monsters?
I am but a walking shadow. This is your game to play. You picked the pieces, laid the board, and made the rules.
What did you mean when you said, here in my head?
You walked through your mouth to get here. Where else did you think we were?
I thought we were in Deadland.
Where could the land of the dead be, other than our memories?
In another place, you, or 8-3, made things for me. Can you do that for me here?
With what? I have nothing but my own burning shame. And even here, no work is done without an order.
Can you make me something?
With what? I have...
Oh, right. Sorry.
Goodbye.
A funny phrase, you know. Once, it meant God be with you. Does that really seem a fitting farewell in this pit?
Okay. So I've got a tooth thing here, but...
It is an order, but how can I obey with no tool or material?
Can I give him this?
Will this do?
Gross. Okay, so... What is this material? Aha!
Can you work with that?
Oh, yes. Only black bile defies my craft. This is what's left from intellect gnawing at the roots of wisdom. From it would come something incisive. You need only give your order.
So all of my lack of progress came from the fact that I did not come and click on 8-3. That's what I was missing.
There is tooth, fit for one who would bite deeply.
So Yoda is asking me about a thing that I tweeted about recently, which was the fact that in State of Decay 2 there's an exploit where if you have a follower, your follower will, and you give your follower. Oh, I'll tell you this in a second.
You always come back to the knife. But has it ever helped you?
Yes.
Were you ever able to cut loose from misery?
Well, not misery.
To strike a blow against your demons? Never. Dull, dull, dull.
Anyway, so Yoda was asking about this this exploit that we found, where if you hand your follower a weapon that is completely broken, they'll automatically just fix it for you the next time they get into combat. It was an exploit that we didn't know about for years. And apparently there were some players who were super into it, who actually got kind of mad that I said we were probably going to fix it. But it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would we charge you a resource to fix weapons and then also have there be a way to fix them for free? That system doesn't hang together. Anyway, Yoda wants to know how we discovered it. So I can't go into fine details about how we discovered it, but we have a programmer who was working on a new feature that affects the way that AI characters use weapons. And so they sort of reshuffled the AI sort of weapon use behavior and changed it in such a way that, without really anyone planning it this way, when you, instead of giving an AI character a broken weapon and then later when they went into combat they would fix it, now if you gave them a weapon they would immediately fix it. And so suddenly this thing that was actually kind of obscure, a lot of people didn't notice it was happening, it would just happen so instantaneously that like everyone noticed. It was just like really, really obvious. We're like, oh, what? They've been doing that the whole time? What? Like, I actually had a really confusing conversation with the programmer where I was sitting there assuming that was not what was happening, and I did not understand what was going on. And she was like, because this was the first time she had explored this particular system, she only knew it the way that it worked. So she assumed that I knew how it worked, and we had this really weird, awkward, confusing conversation where I had no idea what was going on in my own game. So that's how we discovered it, is that we made some changes to the AI that suddenly made it work. And so when people are like, oh no, why are you closing this exploit? They don't realize that if we were to ship our next set of updated features with this exploit unfixed, it would be so bleedingly obvious that nobody would be able to miss it, and it would really undermine the sense of verisimilitude in the game. So Cog, so you would, this is not a feature that we've even shared in the beta yet. So you would not have seen this feature, the version of it that I'm talking about in action yet. Okay, what am I doing? I've got the dagger now, and the dagger I was going to use to cut the web open. So let's do that, and hope that this time there's something a little less disgusting in here. Oh, look, it's a homunculus.
It looks a little like me. Or maybe I should say it looks like a little me. A lot like a little me. There's so many of them.
The writing in this game is great. Okay. So is this what I think? Am I gonna have to do what I think I have to do? Oh wait, first. Okay, the empty bottle. Got the empty bottle. Cogs made a hint that I think is leading me in the right direction, but it also aligns with everything that the dialogue has been telling me so far. And also it aligns with what I did with the dog originally. Basically, I need to find something the dog wants to eat, but have it be poisoned in some way. So let's collect the poison over here.
I feel like a waiter.
It is poison, right?
Words.
Yes. Then let's open our inventory and poison the man. Gross.
Here we go again.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to feed myself to myself. I'm not sure what any of this means, but whatever it is, it's disturbing. I'm feeding myself.
He definitely didn't look happy.
Feeding myself to kill myself.
There's a note stuck inside. The world is a masquerade. Faces, costumes, voices, all pretend. We all wish to appear as we are not. We deceive ourselves, and in the end, we do not even recognize ourselves.
The tank, I don't think that, like, currently this round of feature testing, I don't think we're going to be able to get to an Xbox beta that quickly. The reason we did a Steam beta was because we were already set up with one behind the scenes, and so it was effortless for us just to remove the password requirement, and we already had a beta. We've been working so hard on these features that some of them we've announced and some of them that we haven't. We've been working so hard on those, we just literally haven't had the extra bandwidth to set up a new beta on a new platform from scratch. So I think, like, sort of maybe the next round of features that we do, maybe we'll be able to sort of, as a part of that process, build up an Xbox beta from the ground up. But I wouldn't expect to suddenly get one for the current round of features. Those will probably be released to the public before we have an opportunity to set up an Xbox beta. Cog says, will there be an explanation of Cleo in the beta at one point, or is it coming later? No comment.
Hey, you. Or is it, hey, me?
Neither. We're all fakes.
Hey, it's me at different ages.
Who are you?
Just think of us as fragments. Masqueraders.
Fakes. Masqueraders? You don't even have masks.
If your friend the cicada were here, do you know what he'd say?
Mask. From the Latin, masca.
A cover for the face. A specter.
A nightmare.
And we all have nightmares here, don't we?
Onkos was the Greek word. It meant the mask worn by an actor in a tragedy.
It also meant a weight. Or a burden.
The mass of misery that hangs on the head of one who suffers.
And we all have burdens here, don't we?
Can you take off the mask? Set down the burden. Wake up from the nightmare.
That's what you've been doing.
Your mind is a matryoshka.
But be careful. What's underneath could be worse.
Worse? Sure, we put on masks for a reason, don't we?
Maybe under all those layers of overcoats, there's only a dead rat.
And what if there's nothing beneath?
So Yoda says that with between the sort of like synthy music and the fact that I'm meeting three of myself at different ages, this is reminding them of the German TV show Dark on Netflix, which that's an interesting connection. I think the meaning is very different, but that's an interesting connection. By the way, so I was intending to end this session sometime around now and then start a new one. I feel like I don't know how close I am to the end though, and that's the thing. Like, I did this with Resident Evil 8. I ended my session, started a new one, and then 10 minutes later was done with the entire chapter. And so I keep being like, well, maybe I'm close to the end. And if I'm close to the end, I should, not just start a new session and then have the next one be 5 minutes long. But I don't know. I don't know how close I am.
Where are we? The carnival? My head? Why not both?
A Coney Island of the mind.
Can you help me find her? The woman. I know you know who she is.
Sure thing. Walk up the tracks.
Do it yourself.
That's the whole problem.
It's not a pilgrim's progress when you hitch a ride.
But you've still got to get past us.
Get past you?
Sure thing.
Just need to look us in the face.
And say please.
Please?
Sure thing. Just tell me this. Do you remember what you called me? The man you were?
Oh, okay. That's what this puzzle was about. Got it. So way back when I did the tarot reading with Murmur, I was like, they're letting me choose these things? What does this mean? What's the purpose of this? I had to remember what I called my past, present, and future selves. So I remember my old self was the Fool. I'm pretty sure it was the Fool. Wait, no, I did present first. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I chose Fool first, but I think I did present first. Then I did future with Hermit, and then I did past with Hangman? I think? Now I'm not sure. Oh, crap.
I called you a hanged man.
Why?
Because we were already condemned. We just didn't realize it yet. And how about me? The man before you. What did you call me? Do you remember?
I think this was the fool.
I called you a fool. Why? Because we should have found a way to help her. Well, then, now it's my turn. The you who is to come. What did you say I was? Remember?
Cogs, I saw that. I didn't respond to it yet.
I called you a hermit. You gonna tell me why? You really need to ask? Because she's gone.
Well, that's that. Except that you'll have to look at yourself again up there. Only it'll be worse.
Up where?
You'll see.
Okay, so Cogs is hinting that there's that Cogs has been sort of scanning through a walkthrough of the game at the same time so that he can offer me hints when I need him. And he says that there's actually half an hour left in the walkthrough that he's looking at, which means since I think that there were 50 minutes left last time I played, I think I've gotten about halfway through the content of his walkthrough in this session, which means I probably have a full session left. So I actually am going to pause right here. We're about to go up this path and find out whatever's at the end of it. And that seems like an appropriate cliffhanger. So let's do a quick ending here. So if you want to subscribe to my channel and you're watching later on YouTube, there's going to be a button right there to subscribe. And I'm going to continue, and that link is going to be right there. So there you go.